Well, good morning, everybody. It's game day 3, decision day in terms of qualification for classification games and semi-finals. And New Zealand and Lebanon at the start of play today. All options available to them. But which of these teams will get the win today and put themselves in an ideal spot to continue in a quest for not only an Asia Cup championship, but also a qualification spot for next year's Olympic Games. Here is the schedule at 5 o'clock local time this afternoon. China and Korea, a clash with so much history. But we kick it off with New Zealand and Lebanon playing each other for the first time. And you can see the current group table with the Lebanon still to register a win, but they've had the losses against China and Korea. New Zealand had that massive win over Korea on game day 1. Laurie Chiswick with me. Laurie, there's so much that could happen on this game day, but as always, the most important thing, we'll focus on this game and then get the calculators out after if we need them. But I'm fascinated to see how well Lebanon do against New Zealand.
Well, they're actually pretty evenly matched when you look across the stat line and their height and what they've brought. Certainly this game is absolutely, we talked about game 1 for New Zealand being pivotal. Well, this is absolutely pivotal because if they can get the win today, that'll consolidate their second spot on the ladder and make their life much easier when it comes to classification and crossover games.
Well, and that's, they don't want to undo all the good work they did on game day 1 by having an off day. But for Lebanon, coming up from last year's last championship B division with an opportunity now to still get into a classification game. They don't want to be in a relegation battle to go back down.
No, they certainly don't. Once you get here, you want to stay. And I thought they were much improved in their second game against Korea. And, they would be hoping that as they spend more time together, they will keep improving and be able to show that on the court today against New Zealand.
And the fascination for everybody watching this game is, obviously, they decided to sit down Penina Davidson and Talia Tupaya yesterday because of the injuries, maybe because of the loading, but Davidson in particular played 40 minutes game day 1. He's got to get some rest into those legs.
Well, they do, and there was a pretty quick turnaround. They had the 5 o'clock game last night and then the first game this morning, so they needed that rest and recovery, but they are on the court now. We were watching them warm up, and they look fit and ready to go.
Well, we'll have an opportunity to talk more about this one after the national anthems of both countries. And we'll start with the national anthem of Lebanon.
Please remain upstanding for the national anthem of New Zealand.
Well, the first time these two countries would have faced each other in FIBA basketball, and the third team on the floor that's in charge of this first game between the two, Chichon Chiang from Chinese Taipei, Joan Garcia from the Philippines, and Yana Nikos Yan from Kazakhstan. The three officials, their teamwork as important as the two teams, New Zealand and Lebanon. I'm just so intrigued. The Lebanon shot the ball so well in B division, but against the defense of China and Korea, they just couldn't make a jump shot. It's just, can New Zealand put them under that much pressure, though?
Well, I think whenever you step up a level, you feel that pressure of the speed of the game increases. So you've got to release your shot a bit quicker. And so those sort of adjustments take a little bit of time. And I think that's what I said, that, you know, hopefully they're getting better and they will feel that. But that is New Zealand's challenge. They've got to make sure that they don't make them feel comfortable, that they contest every shot and make them feel rushed.
Well, there's the starting lineup for Lebanon, and then pretty much the same lineup that they've gone with in the first two games. And wasn't Trinity Baptiste so much better in game two?
Wow, 20 points, 12 rebounds against Korea. And we asked that question at the beginning of the game, and she delivered big time. Their captain, Ahul, well, she got injured about 23-minute mark. She had played that amount of minutes, and they sat her, but she is out there today and ready to go in that starting lineup. And she is so crucial, Mark, for this Lebanon team.
She's one, you know, as she goes, they go, right? It's that's how it's been for Coach Georges Jaeger, and he's done a nice job. He's impressed a lot of the people watching this team play and the way he's prepared them, and huge opportunity for him and a huge opportunity for Lebanon if they could get the win, which would be an upset, let's be fair.
Absolutely, it would be, but they'll certainly give it their best shot.
And it's a little bit role reversal for this New Zealand team. They came into that game day one, and they came up with the upset against the favoured Korea team. So it's a different pressure when you're the favourite.
Well, it is, and they're going to have to stick to, you know, their game plan. They've got an excellent coaching staff, well coached by Guy Malloy, and Davidson. She played that full 40 minutes and just was a monster. 24 points, 10 rebounds, and in that crucial win. And so she'll be glad to be back on course. Charlize Ledger-Walker, I really like her and what she's bringing to the table, and her little pull-up jump shot. And again, she's crucial. Well,
again, the guard matchup's going to be intriguing because both teams rely on it very heavily, not just for control, but for a lot of points production. So there's a number of little battles. How is Baptiste going to be able to cope with Davidson, or how are they going to match up that way? Is Elas going to be a factor? So many questions, and as I say, for New Zealand now, you're a favourite. You've got to deliver.
Well, I think for New Zealand, it's their focus has got to be defense. You know, they can put points on the board, but they need to be able to really clamp down on Lebanon and make their life difficult, and see if Lebanon can handle the pressure out there.
Well, the TISO countdown to tip off 1 minute before this first game in FIBA basketball between the two countries gets underway. And the prize couldn't be that much bigger. Getting to a knockout stage of your regional championships is a huge step forward, and for Lebanon coming out of Division B would be a phenomenal achievement in their first year back in the A division.
I love listening to the coaches and their last-minute instructions, and just the passion coming from both of these coaches. And you mentioned Georges Jaja, and he's positive with his team. He gives good instructions, you know, and it's up to them to try and execute it. Perhaps not the skill level of some of the other teams that they faced in the might of China, but certainly he's headed this team in the right direction.
Well, the direction, as you say, is up for this Lebanon program at the moment. Trying to avoid being in the relegation playoff. New Zealand, the prize, if they can finish second, would be a much easier classification game. If they finish third in this group, you will cross over against the loser of the Japan-Australia game this evening, and that's going to be a tough game. Two top 10 teams in the world. So the prize for New Zealand is immense.
It is, and they will know that. They'll know that that's what's on the line in today's game, and they'll want to try and come up with a really positive start.
Well, welcome to Sydney. New Zealand in the white, Lebanon in the red. And that's already an interesting matchup decision with Baptiste. Starting with Ledger Walker, they switched it to come up. Baptiste has come to play today. Off the glass for 2 is good. And there's a really vocal contingent of Lebanon fans who are loving that. Ledger Walker out top, Davidson gets a touch. Ledger Walker thinks about the 3. A tough turnaround is no good. And as a team, that's effort on the floor. The ball will go back to the Lebanon. And that's an interesting decision from Coach Gaga to have Baptiste picking up Walker. If they go to that 2-man game, Laurie, it's an interesting decision to...
Well, I'm wondering whether it's because of her length, so she can sort of have that distance between them and use her length to try and put her off her shot.
Now she's at the offensive end. Baptiste faces up, going against Reed, puts it on the floor, tries to get to the middle and kicks. Kill puts up the 3, is short, and no option to get to the glass. Walker. And Reed has been really effective. But they've contained it. Ledger Walker is going to be fouled on the way to the ring.
So smart was that. She motioned for her teammates to clear out. She saw she had a bigger player on her, thought that she could beat her with her foot speed to the basket, which is exactly what she did.
You know, you're now deep into the tournament, so obviously coaches have had the opportunity to come up with some strategy as such, and Ledger Walker's decision, as you said, was the thing that made that so much better for New Zealand. Previously, they obviously tried to work that 2-man game. Doesn't need it when she's got that mismatch, as you said.
Absolutely, yep.
Interesting to see if Lebanon get hurt, if they stay with that matchup coverage. Tied at 2. A nice start to the first game on game day 3. Akil's going to have the basketball in her hands a lot. But Baptiste turns it over, possibly should have gone up, and an opportunity for New Zealand to run.
Good rotation from New Zealand.
And kick the extra pass. Here's Reed, who's been very aggressive. 2-man game. Walker beats Ledger Walker for 3, doesn't get the roll. And Lebanon just about, and now they've got to beat the timeline, and they don't
quite do it.
You got to ask, really, there was no pressure why Lilas just didn't bring it herself, just waited until Akil got off the floor, and that was the reason.
Yes.
Well, here's Reed, who didn't need to be asked twice in the previous games, goes off the glass, doesn't get it to go. And that's a way for the team just to hunt the ball.
Akil like the way Sebastian was pushing the ball there, really putting pressure on the defense early.
Fares thinks about it, moves it back to Akil. They're going to go. She's asking for a bit of space and separation. Baptiste wants it, mid-post, puts up the jumper, is short. And some red shirts have got to get going on the offensive glass. It's one and done at the moment for Lebanon. Wide open 3. Spear for it, doesn't get it to go. You've got to love the way Lebanon are rebounding at the defensive end, although great effort by Reed to keep it alive, and that gets the ball, and the ball will stay with New Zealand.
Both teams right now, I think, probably have a little bit of nerves, just the immensity of this game and the importance of it.
Spear has it, we'll go. Davidson's always going to be that release, because Lilas is not going to go. Great hands. Going strong off the left hand and then puts up a poor one. If you can't put up a good one, maybe pull it out. Here's Ledger Walker going the other way with advantage. We'll back it out though. Spear will reverse it. Reed on the second side. Turnaround jumper is short. Davidson keeps it alive and they got a new 14. Spear turns down the pick, gets to the foul line, drops it inside for Davidson. He's fouled. And Lilas is a little bit foul prone at times and picks up her first.
Tupaia did a great job there. You can just see the control she had coming off of that and was just probing and seeing and waiting for that defense to commit so that she could make that nice little pocket pass into Davidson.
And Davidson, an opportunity to open her count. How immense was she on game day 1? I mean, to go 40 minutes and be productive is sometimes enough, but she led them in so many stat lines.
Well, and like you say, for 40 minutes, it wasn't just flashes or different times. She was a stellar performance for that whole time. And that's hard to maintain that sort of intensity for that length, and they needed her to be doing that.
All right, Lilas will sit down and replaced by El Sharif. 38 years old, El Sharif. There's a huge age range on this Lebanon team. Hands it off. Nice pass. Should score. Oh, what a block. Tremendous recovery, Beck, but they turn it over the other way. And I think you're so right, Laurie. I think the nerves are evident. They need someone to settle down, both teams. The 3 is long, and again, no red shirt, except for the veteran who gets a piece of it. Akil has a matchup she wants to go at. Still plenty of time. Baptiste in the keyway, can't get it. It's a bit scrappy, but the 2 is good. And Sabian ticks it over for Lebanon.
Well, there'll be no doubt it'll be whichever team can sort of settle into a bit of a rhythm, because neither of them have it right now.
Ledger Walker normally is the person that controls things, has no option, has to settle for the 3, and it was a settle for the 3, not in rhythm at all. Oh, nice hesitation, but they're going to go offensive foul on the screen.
And that's something the referees have been really, really consistent with across day 1 and day 2, is that screen, and whether they are saying totally still or any movement whatsoever.
And Akil really just needed to wait a little bit, didn't she? Didn't give El Sharif an opportunity. Get set. Here's Reed. They hit the second side, but the ball's a little bit slow for New Zealand at the moment. Ledger Walker, under 10 on the possession, will take the screen, but is not aggressive. And Reed, and they're going to have to go inside now. Davidson with not a lot of time, makes the baseline move. Super finish. Super, super finish by Penina Davidson.
Didn't panic, showed a lot of poise out there as that shot clock was winding down, finishing on the buzzer.
5-4, and it feels like a 5-4 game with both teams desperately searching for some rhythm. Akil needs to get herself going, doesn't get the 2. And what they wouldn't give for Akil to get going with an easy look, just to get some rhythm and some confidence. Veer gives it up, Reed. Again, they contain it, but the 3 is good.
And that's what they need. If they can get Talia Tupaya firing, she is deadly from that 3-point line. And then as they start closing out long, she's got the tenacity to weave her way in. So she could be crucial right now.
Baptiste. Jan takes the ball screen, but goes a bit soft. 5 on the possession. She goes up with a, well, almost a right-hand hook, and not the shot they wanted right then. Here's Ledger Walker in transition. Davidson will dribble and hand off. Gonna hit Tapir, who's just made the 3. Possibly could have just spotted up. They go to the corner. Reed puts it on the floor and kicks. The 3 is off.
I don't know about you, Mark, but I always, suggest to players, if somebody's just shot a 3, set a play up so that they can shoot another 3. They've got a bit of confidence. They feel good.
Yeah, you're right, and especially in that moment. And Tapia's got to recognize that for herself as well. She was the person there to reverse the ball too, but she repositioned to handle. Substitutions coming in for New Zealand. And in terms of bench impact, Taylor Dorton's been phenomenal.
Yes.
Does not stop working. Reed will get it to Dorton. Could be a huge factor in this game. Change the angle, go inside. Davidson spins to the baseline, goes to that reverse hook, and Dorton's the person who works harder than anybody else and sooner and gets the 2. Nice little period for New Zealand. They open it out to a 10-4 advantage. Yeah, penetrates, there's nothing there. Baptiste gets it, but gets it too far out. Baptiste with the 2 and has to go looking for her own. Pierre hesitates, gets inside, just as you said, Laurie, exactly what you said. Timeout for Lebanon, and that's a great little run.
Well, she's not explosive, but she's cagey. She can just get that, uses her body really well, uses her strength, and is a great finisher.
Timeout for Lebanon. It's not as if they're doing a great job defensively. They just can't get anything going at the offensive end.
Yeah, there were certainly a lot of fumbles and balls out of bounds early.
They're penetrating. Why we're denying? I told you they're not good shooters. Okay, they took one shot. That's okay. Back the court, okay? With a 5-man, they're switching and we're not finding solutions. So we have to go to the screens with the 4. So if you want to play it 42, go towards Shiro, okay? And Treaty, you come set this screen, okay? And then you can slip or play it. We're going to play 4. Listen, we're going to play 4. Shiro, you're going to be here. Sorry, here. T, you're here, okay? I will have Natalie and I will have Laila, okay? From now on, run me over screens active. Shiro, you're setting top screen, okay? T, you're looping. Natalie, you're lifting. If you can find her, immediately find her. She has a mismatch. If not, quick to Natalie, quick to Treaty under the basket. Play aggressive, go to finish. Yeah, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
can see in that replay, Davidson's just a second effort. She missed a little reverse hook, but got her hand in to tap it to her teammate Dalton, who was, as you said, ready to go. She has been great coming off the bench.
The interesting thing for me out of that timeout, Baptiste's her only points have been the points she got in transition. She's really just had jump shots. I haven't really looked to get her in situations with advantage. And it doesn't really matter what pattern you run, does it? It's about getting the ball to the right people in the right areas. Now she's got it in the block. A little floater whistle on the play. And this will be a great opportunity for Akil to get some rhythm on the free throw line.
Well, they need her firing. They need the ball in her hands a lot, and the decisions that she makes, and you know, that was a good shot for her to take. Those ones, you know, they're not going to get that many better shots,
no.
And so they need it in her hands. They need her creating. And as we've said all along when Lebanon have played, she's the barometer. If she's going, the team's going. And that's the same with Baptiste. You know, they need to have her just be a little bit more involved in the game right now.
Well, there's the zone trap out of the free throws that New Zealand negotiate. Dalton off the glass, doesn't get it to go. Baptiste cleans up the mess. And Ezra McGoldrick in the game for New Zealand, who was a revelation after not playing at all. Game day one was excellent. Floated inside, turned over. Just too much traffic chance for Ledger Walker to lead the break, but they're not committing to it. They're just going to get into the half court. Tapia, attacks it and kicks. Wide open for the three. Is good.
How good is it when you come off the bench and your first touch is a three-point shot from the corner and it drains it?
It's the way people come forward in tournament play, you know, after not playing on the first day. Was great yesterday. Got some confidence, steps up and makes. Baptiste with a lean away two is no good. And I just don't think lean away twos is how she's going to carry her team. Ledger Walker goes back, baseline, needs a pass, finds one. Tapia outside, nice look. Easy two, great ball movement. Well, that was 5-4, it's now 17-10 6. Dominant by New Zealand in the last few minutes. Akil takes a tough one and doesn't get it to go. Ledger Walker will back out. 9 on the quarter. Trying to hold for the last look. The Goldrick gets it off to Dalton, way short. And that will do it for the end of 1. And it started tight, but New Zealand had just broken this open.
Well, we talked about nerves at the beginning of the game for both of the teams and which team would finally settle into their rhythm, and clearly it's been New Zealand. They look very comfortable at the offensive end right now and are really cranking up the defense, only allowing 6 points for that Lebanon team.
Well, those stats aren't great reading if you're Lebanon. 18% from 2 and 0 from 3. It's that group of very loud Lebanese fans are going to be wanting a little bit more than that in the second quarter.
Well, and I think it's about the pressure that New Zealand, we talked about that's a key for them at the beginning of the game to play some really good defense and put Lebanon under pressure so they can't get away some shots, and I think they've done a really good job of that.
Well, the first highlight in the plays here for the first quarter was Baptiste 2 feet from the basket.
Yeah.
I mean, you put a strap line, that's the only 2-foot shot she's taken. Everything else has been 10 feet and further out and often fading away. But as you said, once New Zealand settled in, they started to look like the team that played well against Korea.
Well, they did, and maybe it's a case of, Davidson and Tupaya they didn't play yesterday, so they sort of needed to get back into some rhythm. But Tupaya, whether she was scoring or whether she was dishing it to her teammates in the corner, as we see here, I thought she really controlled the game, controlled the tempo.
Well, there's the QR code for the Courtside 1891 app. Download it in your normal way. All the information on not only this Women's Asia Cup here in Sydney, but any FIBA competition, highlights, stats, news, stories. Download that app. It's all there for you. And with some of the major FIBA events still to go this summer, that's well worth a look. So just coming out at the start of the second quarter, and what Lebanon wouldn't give for Baptiste to get a couple of good looks. And the other factor for me is that they took Lilas out, and they looked very good at the beginning with the two of them in, especially defensively, and haven't really gone back to her. Well, they haven't gone back to her. I mean, she only has...
well, she only played for just 3.5 minutes in that quarter, and she's still sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we said she's a little bit foul prone. She has the 2 fouls. Nice pass off the flex cut. That's a nice start. Fahad with a 2. The sisters in the backcourt, nice kick, same spot, and it's off this time. Great work on the glass. And New Zealand get a new full team. Ledger Walker turns the corner, gets inside, takes a tough one and draws contact. And unfortunately for Mokdad, she just couldn't stop herself.
Yeah, that she really bailed her out there, because I think Lebanon are doing a pretty good job on that high pick and roll with Charlize Ledger Walker, because in the past, oh, sorry, that's Crystal. But in the past, they've been able to come off and pull up there, and defenses, clearly they've made an adjustment to make sure that doesn't happen.
There's a walk up. Knocks down the free throws. Just Lebanon have got to find, like they did first possession, easier looks. It can't be forcing things for the whole game and expect to shoot good enough percentages. Akil comes off the screen, backs out. Well, there's that attempt to get to the hoop by Bakos, but just lost a footing. Ledger Walker in transition. transition pick and roll. They move the ball. And again, they swing it. They're back on the original side. They're going to go pick and roll again. It's a Walker. Nice lift. Gets the 3 away and is off. I think Lebanon will accept that. And they're going to call...
There was just a mid-court collision with Beck and Bajos.
I think the referees want to talk about it. It depends on how they saw the intent on it, but I didn't see anything apart from just a coming together.
Yeah.
Tapia's going to step back in. And she was so impressive in the latter stages of that first quarter. Coach Malloy doesn't want to leave her out too soon, so he gets her back in, a minute and a half in to this second quarter. Great effort, tremendous work by Beck. She's another one of this New Zealand roster that just does not stop working. Ledger Walker gets into that little space in the keyway off the glass, doesn't get it to go. And here comes Bajos. Tapia tries to contain her and does a nice job at making her back it out. Baptiste, more aggressive on the dribble, off the glass, draws contact. And she is so much more effective when she is aggressive.
Well, that's what she needs to do, and we saw that that's how she scored a lot of her points yesterday. And you know, she needs to back herself that she can beat Davidson. She's explosive first step. And I liked because I liked how she caught it and went straight away. She didn't wait and get the defense, everybody set. She caught it and went, and you know, she's athletic too. So if she misses, she can also, she's got a great jump, can go after her own rebound.
Well, she makes the first. That really is the first time she got Davidson involved in defending penetration, and there was the foul, makes both. And Reed's going to check back in.
And again, you have to recognize that Davidson is the key player on the team set. If you can attack her and get her in any sort of foul trouble, you know, that would be a good result for Lebanon.
The trap again, takes some time out of the possession, already down to full team. Ledger Walker will move it on. Tapia out top where she's been really effective. A little hesitation, nice find. That 3-point, that corner has been open the whole game for New Zealand. They've only made the 1-3 there at the moment. Ledger Walker, 5 Spears, only 5 on this possession. Gets the ball screen, tries to create a little space. They're not going to get it away. And that's a super start to this second quarter by Lebanon. Defensively, they've got them deep every time. Into the shot clock. And now they're just going to come down the floor and keep it ticking over. They trail by 9. Bajos again, you don't need Bajos.
That is her trademark.
Exactly.
That is his trademark. Her left-hand drive hard to the basket. I've loved watching her play every game. You know, we talk about 37 years old. She just, when she gets on the court, things happen. She makes things happen.
That's a super second step, as you saw on the replay. Yeah, she's going to be a little hard on herself if she really gives herself too hard a time for missing it, but she'll be disappointed this isn't an and one. Makes the first. New Zealand already have 3 team fouls as well. Still 7.5 minutes to go in this. They couldn't have asked for a better start to this second quarter, Lebanon. Baptiste, what a rebound. Now she's got to make it and doesn't. I don't really think she had to change her shot as much as she did. Ledger Walker gets it over. Tapia has it. Davidson has it knocked away. They're going to call the foul. Mocked that again. Just couldn't help herself. Was it clean?
Well, I don't know. It sounded like they got a lot of ball,
yeah.
but and they certainly feel they did. No, there you go. You see over the arm.
A bit of ball, but a lot of arm.
Yeah. I think 2 players got a lot of ball and 1 got a lot of arm.
Spear off the out of bounds. Just exploring options here, Ledger Walker. This is where she's normally very effective. The open 3 in the corner. And it's obvious they've decided they're going to take away that pick and roll option.
Yes.
And that forces the turnover.
They're doing a really good job of that because that was their bread and butter against Korea.
Gas again draws contact. She only knows one way to play.
She does. The scout on her would definitely be drive it to the basket all the way. Do not foul.
Well, Coach Malloy has seen enough of that momentum shift. Takes the timeout. He's got a lot to talk about. He's been asked some questions by Lebanon. Let's see what his response is.
Okay. Hey, we just got to have foul discipline. We're not guarding our yard. We're opening the gate right, and they've got angles because a lot of our feet are this way, and they've got us on the hip. And then it gives the refs. I mean, I don't know that some of those were calls, but we've got to kind of expect it if we're not in front of them. So we've got to work really hard to get in front, right? Okay. In the offense, we're making good reads. We have to come off, we move the ball. Girls, these corner shots are wide open. We've got to take our time, knock those shots down. We hit a couple of those, it changes the game completely. But I think that when we get those shots, means you want to get right hard and come hard to the ball when they're shooting those corner shots. Really look for that because we might be able to make one extra pass inside. Okay, break the press here, break the press and go back to a thumb up against man.
At the moment, are you happy with the decision to keep shooting that corner jump shot?
Well, I think so. I mean, that's Lebanon have clearly said, we'll let you shoot that. And as you even heard in a timeout, they're not great. He's saying they're not great shooters. And I think that's the case. A lot of their scores have been inside the paint more so. You know, right now they're shooting 29% over their 2 games. And so you go, well, we'll live with that.
Bakos misses the first. And for all the change of momentum in the game, it's still an 8-point game, and Lebanon is still struggling to tick it over. Just got to finish plays. And she makes the second. The 1-2-2 trap gets looked at again. Deflection. Tapia makes the nice cut to the middle of the floor. But again, already down to 14 on the clock. And now we're at 10, and the ball hasn't seen the keyway or below the foul line. Down at 5, Reed not sure where she's going to go. Tapia comes back, she's going to have to put this up.
Shoot it.
Takes the prayer, makes it!
Wow, New Zealand have to be a little bit more, shot clock aware. That's twice now. It's gone right down there, and that was pretty lucky for Tupaya that she got that shot off in time. Now that was nice. Great action coming off the the staggered screen and just curling around and had her feet set so nicely.
So important that they get a contribution for Akil. That's a first field goal. She scored from the line, but first field goal. Ledger Walker in the corner. In no space at all. She's going to have to bring it out, and they're at 4 seconds again. Tapia from deep and makes it back to back.
So whilst that's great that she's making those, what enormous pressure that they're not even getting into any rhythm until 4-3-2, and she has to shoot it.
And they're living on the back of bottom of the shot clock threes. Akil pulls up and was indecisive, should we say.
There's the one, and you can just see the light going on in the backboard as the clock ticks down for both of those shots.
That's all they had, wasn't it? There was nothing else that they had. But hey, I think, as Coach Malloy says, you've got to back yourself. And now she goes to work, going to the ring, doesn't make it. Baptiste can't get it. And Davidson outworks her and will go to the free throw line.
I think New Zealand need to have a little bit more of a sense of urgency. One, in getting the ball over, and then two, in their movement. You know, it's taking them too long to sort of get set in a position and start the ball movement, and hence such pressure at the end of the shot clock.
Yeah, there's no come out of the break straight into something, is it?
No.
Takes them long enough to beat it, and then they have to think about what they're going to run after. And two just huge threes have bailed them out. Davidson makes a second.
I'll be a bit disappointed if you're Lebanon. You've played, 23.9 seconds of great defense, forced a contested shot, and she nails the two of them.
But that's where we are. If we're at this level, you've got people to do it.
Right.
It's just you can't. New Zealand can't live with that for the whole game. Baptiste will hand off. Well, they run this action where Cyprian chooses where she goes. They just don't get a lot out of it. Akos catches, shoots it, doesn't get it, and there's that reaching foul, and that'll be the fourth team foul for Lebanon. Those are the ones that really do frustrate you because you have no chance of getting it. Here out top. And that one's off. Had too much time on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, great work by Ledger Walker, and timeout for Lebanon.
Well, it was a good read by Tupaia. Her defense went straight under the screen, and so of course she's going to pull up and shoot it, but didn't quite knock it in, but a good finish out by her teammate. Interesting dilemma for coach in this timeout. His team's played well, they played great defense, yet the margin's now eked out to 15 on two deep threes and an offensive rebound.
And everybody from the five-man side, okay? Plus, we have to think what has been working. What has been working was horns, 42, and spin down. So let's keep going for this, okay? Now, defensively, we're gonna hit 13. The first one, we need to hesitate and go back. Danny, you're playing up. Natalie, you know it from behind, right? Rebecca is playing from behind. Danny, you're up. Natalie, you're on the side. We make 1-2 stops and we keep pushing the ball with early screens, okay? Offensively, let's run horns. Trinity, you're gonna be here. Aida's gonna be here. You're gonna take Trinity's side, okay? Set good screen, Trinity. Set good screen. Aida, if you see on the pop of Trinity, your man is helping, slip inside. If not,
Corners. So when we drive off the 4, Tali, you drive off the 4, you're going to pop. See if we can tag here. When she drives off, I want you to power in. Get right to the front of the rim. We're going to look for that little drop-in pass to Nina. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I think it's a good idea for Lebanon to mix up their defenses. Don't let that, presumably Coach Guy Malloy would have been talking about that certain zone. I think they're staying in a zone, but a different zone, maybe a 1-3-1, and I think it's good to be able to switch things up like that.
Well, let's see if they do run some type of horns. But they run a horns, and Baptiste flares to the outside the three-point line. They're offering it to Backhouse to 3. She doesn't get it, and Farhad can't get the rebound, and great job by Davidson again. It's not what you run, it's how you run it. Tapia comes off it, nice find, extra pass. Reed for 3 is short, and she can't get it going, but Davidson clears up the mess. And again, they build, she's just a rock they build everything around. Baptiste gets the first pass. Davidson gaps her, and then the whole offense sticks. Akil comes to get it. Because he's got to throw it to Baptiste, surely. Doesn't. 3 on the clock. Akil's going to have to take a prayer that's not answered. And New Zealand are just turning that screw ever tighter. And that's going to be offensive because she went looking for the contact. And with 3:10 to go in the half, they're forced to bring back Zaina Lilas. Could be a very long debate with the coach after, is protecting her for what? Team's in a hole.
Yeah.
3 minutes to go in the first half. She comes back in now. They simply must win this last 3 minutes. Baptiste, they won't let her settle. That's not New Zealand's way, and they're fortunate Lebanon that Reed fouls. Baptiste will go to the free throw line. See, Davidson went straight to Lilas in terms of the matchups then, and they still left Baptiste outside the three-point line.
Well, and the thing is she's catching it well and truly above the three-point line, and then she's holding it.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of movement off the ball, but nothing's happening. And then her driving lane is not there because defense has made all the adjustments that they need to. And it's just not, it's not where she needs the ball, and it's not how she needs the ball. She needs to sort of almost either catch it down low and go to work, or catch it on the move and keep going.
Yeah, great point, because they're not getting much out of her right now, are they?
And I mean, she got 20 points against a very good Korean side.
Absolutely. Davidson, baseline is fouled. And Lilas has just got to be a bit smarter. She had her under the backboard and picks up a third foul in about 3.5 minutes of basketball.
She needs to be smarter, but how smart was Davidson? Davidson would know that, and maybe even Tupaia, everybody knew that she had 2 fouls, so let's run a play, let's get Davidson the ball, she's guarding her, take it at her.
Again, yeah, but so right. It's and why not put Baptiste on her and try and protect Lilas in that way? They were in a zone. They could have. She had no reason to foul. Ledger Walker just outworks everyone. Beck has a look, goes inside. Davidson gets another touch. Ledger Walker for 3 is good. It's good. It's good at the end of the clock. They can only make threes in the last second of a shot clock.
I think that's going to be a tagline for sure. 3 for 3 as that clock has expired.
Baptiste again catches it on the three-point line, hands it off. Firehead will take the ball screen, but not try to turn the corner. It's a long time to get it back to Akil. Now Baptiste puts it on the floor. Leans back. And settles for another jumper.
She seems so much more timid than she did yesterday. Yesterday she showed us why she was recruited to be a naturalized player.
Here for 3 is off. Kill comes down with a rebound. Got to run, get something quick and easy in transition. Baptiste down the floor with her. Akil goes up, is fouled. She will go to the free throw line. And Lebanon will make the substitutions coming into the end of this half. Leah sits down.
That's Tupaia's second foul. So she has 2 fouls. Beck has 2 fouls. Coach Malloy doesn't seem too concerned with that.
I think he knows he's got that a short roster, doesn't he? So it's...
What did you do as a coach? If your players got 2 fouls in the first half, were you tendency to sub them out?
With 1:37 to go, I'd take her out. I mean, I'm not necessarily take them out straight away with 2, but 1:37 to go. That's what, 3 possessions? It's hardly worth the risk. Then she's going to make me wrong by making the 3. And you've got to ask, she's the big one consistent three-point shooter in the game for New Zealand, and they rotate away from her. Baptiste again has it outside the 3. Now she'll roll into areas, but Keel doesn't give her a look. The 3 is off, wasn't really set. And the wheels are coming off the Lebanon bus at the moment. Tapia has been the player of the first half, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Davidson's the rock, but Tapia's the one that's really inspired New Zealand. Ledger Walker, interesting adjustment throughout this first half, that Ledger Walker's basically running the 2. And Tapia's running the team, it would appear.
Well, it's good that they can recognize that Tupaia is hot right now. She's making really good decisions. So, to have that versatility of be able to rotate your 1 and 2 is great.
Well, New Zealand with the timeout, 50 seconds to go in the first half. They lead it by 20, and they lead it by 20 because they just executed better than Lebanon.
Doing the right thing to break the pressure. We're lacking foul discipline at the end. just put your hands right back, resist this, because they're still really tough. We'll live with that if they make it. But 2 free throws, it's like their last 8 points. It's the only way they're keeping somewhat in the game. Now break the pressure. Shah's got the ball. I want Tara in the middle, and I want Nina opposite, right? It's flow, but we're just going to enter into it. The corners will be there. So let the ball come to you, whatever zone that they're in, or man. Dribble over and turn, pop, and then duck in when the ball is here.
So coming out of the timeout, the reminder about not picking up the crazy fouls. They're left to peer in. I'd have definitely taken her out now with 50 seconds to go. She's going to have at least 2 defensive possessions. So Yon moves the ball on. Well, somehow they manufactured a turnover with a man advantage.
I thought Ahu should have shot that ball.
Oh, yeah. Davidson wants and gets a touch. She's too deep, too strong, too everything. Just bullied away to 2 feet from the bucket. And again, he's just putting in a hugely consistent performance. Baptiste going to have to manufacture one. Leans back, is blocked. And that will do it for the half. And it's been a New Zealand push from about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. They have just been dominant. The threes from Tapir just broke the back almost of that Lebanese defense. And New Zealand lead it 39-17 at the half. Great first half in the end by New Zealand.
Well, they started off slowly, as did both teams, but certainly found their legs and their shooting from the lady we see on the screen right there, Talia Tupaya. Their three-point shooting percentage is at 35, and certainly Tupaya has had 4 from 6 three-pointers, so she leads the way in that regard. And the rebound count, and that's largely due to Davidson just being there and owning the boards and dominating.
Well, there's those scores. Baptiste down at 5. You know, 2 free. You know, it's just not. They need so much more from her, and in some ways she's been disappointing, and the way they've used her has been disappointing.
Well, we expected a lot from her, but you can see there she catches it, she holds it, she looks. You know, now she looked for her teammate there, which was a good cut, but too often we saw her, it was just too stagnant with what she was doing and holding the ball, and there's just not a lot of highlights for this Lebanon team. We can see Bajos, we know that that's her game, she was driving it in, but the shooting, as we see this just on display, and you can see that shot clock go off in the background. 3 times that same thing happened.
And it pretty much sums up the difficulty that the Lebanon have had if one of their offensive highlights is a foul. You know, they just haven't really, they just haven't got anything going at all. And as you said, it's very, very slow and static. It doesn't matter if you're going to run whichever set you're going to run. If you can't run it that slowly.
No, and not at this level. You got to, and I think about when they were playing Korea and how quickly they move the ball, player and ball movement at the same time. And, you know, I think it improved as the game, the second half of the second quarter. They seem to get a little bit more, you know, crispness in their passes. But for a while there, New Zealand were looking a bit stagnant. And then there's Davidson right in there, getting those rebounds, nice finish under physicality, and again, she's so important.
Well, that's a great first half for New Zealand. Let's see if Lebanon can get back in it. We'll see you shortly for the second half here from Sydney.
You need character. You need chemistry. FIBA Basketball World Cup is the peak of the game.
It's the toughest competition in the basketball world to win.
That is why I will be there.
Because when you win for one,
You win for all.
Hahn sets, instead drives in herself with a bit of speed for the big girl. Bernardino just lifts herself over the defense. She's trapped, kicks it out to Young, and Dalton, active hands, wants to keep it in so desperately, reverses it in.
Rocci exploring coast to coast, rushes up the floor, gets the two, draws a foul, chance at a three-point play again for Maddie Rocci.
Mongley, off and running, she wants a piece of this party! And gives Ledger Walker a little stare down as she goes. Heading to the charity stripe for the N1.
Wants help, Hahn. Penetration, the spin was good, finish even better. One of the best plays we've seen from her in this game.
Animam, Bernardino Castillo from three for some space and the N1! That's a big basket for the Philippines. Takada just flies over Mauli's head. It allows De Jesus to get up the other end of the floor. Animam, perfect.
Great no-look pass from De Jesus out there to her teammate Amaran, who's streaming down the court in the middle.
Oh.
And then Tamilo again sends it back to New Zealand with that swat. She's feeling it. Victoria Tamilo says no.
Kang again puts it on the floor, attacks the space, goes upstairs to Park.
Oh, that's that pass you talk about with a big, get it up in the air, let her bring it in. Big smiles on the face, and you don't see that often from the Korean players. It's nice to see.
And let's just say there's a hole that the Lebanese team have dug for themselves here. And they don't have to do it all in one go, but they've got to find a way. Just win every 5 minutes of the game and they can get right back in it.
Well, they just need to put aside that first half really and go, okay, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that we're shooting the ball a little bit, you know, not feeling rushed, shoot it with confidence. You know, right now they're at 17% and that's not going to win any ball game. So, and they need a few more people involved. And as we talked about just by ourselves here, who is going to step up for them? Who's going to be the one that at least tries to get some shots up? Right now they just look a little bit insipid in what they're trying to do out there.
Yeah, and as we both said during that second quarter in particular, they played great defense.
Yeah.
And Tapia just made, and then Ledger Walker made one. They made like 4 threes in the last second of the shot clock, often challenged. And then in the fifth score was an offensive rebound from a shot at the last second of the shot clock. So they've got ways to slow up New Zealand, but they just need to score. And while we're talking about that, you can get all the analysis, all the videos, all the live games on the Courtside 1891 app. That QR code will come up a couple more times as we go through this game. Scan it and access it from your normal source. And it's not just this Women's Asia Cup. Every FIBA competition you can get access to via that application. Let's take a listen to Coach Georgia before they go out for the start of this third quarter.
Okay, I want you to try to deny and recover. Once they put someone here, let's say I have Rebecca, Mira, you guard her. You don't care. If they pass the ball, you can open. Danny, انت ساعتها بتعلي or Trinity. You lift, okay? Yes. Then they will exchange and they will bring someone from here. Zena will call one of you guards to guard her and to stop it. But remember, they treat zone as if it's a drop. We heard them talking in the
Otherwise, you're going to come off to Ra and you're looking at P underneath. And then T, don't always just think pop. If your player turns their head, you might have a dive to the basket. So we're going to stay in this open entry into flow, open entry. And if the ball comes to Tarara and we have nothing, just two-man game, bullet pass down to Talia, turn tight, you go out, and then everything else is the same. Foul discipline, ladies, no middle penetration. Here we go, come on.
Well, Laurie, for me, this Lebanese team, as we've both said a few times, it's not really about what they run, it's how they run it, and the ball's just got to be a bit quicker. Everything has to be quicker.
Yeah, a bit quicker and, you know, just more purpose. They've got to move not only the ball but themselves. They've got to cut hard off the ball, make themselves available early for their teammates to pass them to. And overall, just be a little bit more assertive in what they're doing.
Well, they've got to start at the defensive end. They're going to show the 2-3 zone, it looks like. And that did give New Zealand some issues in that first half. But they've got to get a hand up and they've got to rebound and finish the play. Here's Ledger Walker. Davidson ducks inside out. And that's official right on it. Davidson didn't leave the keyway. And there's the great start.
That's what they wanted.
Just needs a run, Coach G. Just needs his team moving. Just needs to get some urgency. And they can't be slow and half-court based. They've got to be aggressive. Baptiste gets it again outside the three-point line and could have ripped and gone. They'd have gone to her in the post. Drops it inside. Lilas for the two.
That's some nice action. There you go. Draw the defender.
So they get a stop, they get a score. That's all they need to do it possession by possession. It's a long way back, but there's a long time left in the game. Tapia moves it on. Ledger Walker, they're going to keep offering that three to go inside here. Davidson inside out. Ledger Walker for three is short. Get it close enough for New Zealand to start to think. Akil could go all the way, decides to stop. Finds Fahad, who pulls up, he's short. The scoring talent is at the 1, the 4, and the 5. They've got to get touches. Still goes inside. New Zealand do this so well. Get the right person the ball in the areas they can play. Ledger Walker goes baseline, needs a pass, finds one. 5 on it. Tapia is fouled as she takes the penetration.
New Zealand have got to make sure that they keep the ball moving in this zone and make the zone shift.
Let's walk on the inside, little tough one, a runner away, gets her own rebound, keeps it alive. And Lebanon have forced 2 tough shots and given up 2 offensive rebounds. Back to the corner. And there you go, the 3rd shot attempt. And teams at this level are going to shoot 33% across the game.
That was a great way to beat that zone. Tupaya just punching it in, then kicking it back out. A quick ball reversal, found the teammate in the corner.
Kill ball sticks again. Baptiste doesn't get another look. Kill, catch and go. Steps back, tough 3 is way off. Elias comes up with the offensive rebound though. Baptiste catches and goes, but stops, goes again on a second move. It's a little contact, gets her own rebound, powers up, and Davidson just comes to the rescue again of that New Zealand defense.
Baptiste would be disappointed she missed that putback. That's something that she's got to make.
Won't mind seeing it again because the consistency's been there for officials on is the screen stationary. See what you think. Looked like just because she fell over, the referee called the call on that one.
She might have stepped into her and not just given her that little bit of space that you need to.
Baptiste settles for the jumper, is long. And with all respect to anyone in that Lebanon party, that's not the answer. Ledger Walker inside out, the extra pass. And there's the answer for New Zealand. Davidson creates an angle, finishes the play. Just having a great tournament.
Isn't she? She just used her body so well there. Looked like she was going to be a passer, then just really stepped back into her defender, and nice easy finish.
Mocked out outside. That's going to be a moving screen, and Elias is literally a foul magnet in the wrong way. That's a full foul, and I can't actually remember her being aggressive with any bad foul, and she's got 4 of them.
Yeah.
Ledger Walker moves it on. No point taking her out. You're not saving her for anything if you take her out right now. Skip. Tapir has it. Attacks the middle, will kick it back. Open for 3 is long. And Baptiste owns it on the glass. Now they've got to run. Akil has it, but no pace in transition. Elias on the inside, blows it. Beck gets it to the corner. And Davidson's getting a touch most times down the floor. Tapir thinks about it. Plenty of time for her on the clock. Now Davidson gets another touch. Nice pass. And Reed is fouled.
Davidson is getting the ball inside wherever she wants it. She's being a distributor, but they're not trying to bump her or get in front of her, even half front and get a hand in a deflection. They're just letting her catch it, letting the ball come inside, and then you do have to make it an adjustment as a zone, and then kicking it out and, you know, finding the open shooters.
Because she's such a good passer, her teammates are going to cut because they know, as Reed did then, that she's going to see it, and there needs to be an upping of physicality defensively. But you've said it every time that Lebanon have played. It's the difference between the A and the B division.
Yes, yep.
So important that they try and retain their A division status. They can have one of those nerve-tingling relegation playoffs if they lose this game. Kill finds Baptiste, mid-range. She skips it. Fahad puts it on the floor for the 2 is no good. Baptiste comes down with the offensive rebound. He's going to try and power up, and does so. And it just makes you more frustrated.
Yes, there she is, close to the basket and being able to finish.
Big-time rebound, tough finish over a tough player. Beck, Davidson goes high, And again, owns their own space. The three is short. Kill. And now she gets it on the three-point line in the corner, attacks the middle. Goes to the far side of the ring, second move, gets her own rebound, tries to power up through the traffic and does.
Well, that's what we've been asking her to do that whole first half, and she's come out this second half, and we've seen that 2 or 3 times now.
Reed lines up the threes, had a quiet night and was having a quiet night till she knocked that one down. Love the way she contributes in so many different ways. Didn't see the need to shoot it earlier in the game. Baptiste settles for the jumper, doesn't get it to go, and Davidson just gets another positive stat. Traveled. I don't know if I like the decision or don't like the decision. She just made the last 3 from exactly the same spot.
And she was open enough to get that shot off. So, yeah, I agree. I think I would have let it fly.
Yeah. But then she got very indecisive. Well, should I attack it? Should I not?
That's where the problem lies, isn't it?
Mogdad takes the early 3, gets nothing. It's up here. It's the backcourt for New Zealand looks so composed. Nice pass. Akil pushes. It's rotation time for New Zealand at the moment. And Lebanon turning over. And Tupia, heavy shoulder strapping. Major minutes is on the floor. If you're on that New Zealand team, you better be on the floor at the same time she is.
Well, I was thinking earlier when she was shooting those threes that she's lucky it's her left shoulder that's wrapped and not her right one, because that's having 0 effect on her three-point shooting.
Referees are going to talk this one over. Again, I'm not totally sure there's anything really that... they're a lot closer than we are, and there's 3 of them.
Coach Guy Malloy, deep in concentration, knowing the importance of this game and what he wants his team to not only win, but get better and work on things, because there's still a lot of tournament left.
Yeah.
Anytime review, upgrade the upgrade the like a foul. Code number 8. Number 8. Number 8.
I think they need another camera angle.
How do you think? Okay. Yeah, it's very. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Everybody's watching it. The players on the court are watching it.
No, offense foul. Yeah, offense foul. Okay. So I come wrong. It's offense foul, right? Okay. Thank you. Red ball. Yeah, you go.
I'm a big fan of the review, but I'm personally confused now. Because I said it was an offensive foul. Tapia was on defense. And I thought they were looking for the elbow that happened after the whistle had gone, but... Anyway, Baptiste has it in the post. That's far more important. Tries to go to work, but kicks it. Fares doesn't get the 3 to go, and I'm thinking Baptiste has to go up. complete breakdown of communication with Goldrick. Wasn't at the races on that one. Farhad puts it on the floor, gets to the lane and turns it over. (49-23), and it's been a bit messy.
Sticking to their zone, and at least it's slowed them down, I guess, a little bit.
That's a great take. And one. But you've been talking about people catching and going.
Yes, yes. Your defense is always chasing. If you can get that ball, rip it nice and low and be explosive on that first step and go some distance on that first step, you're always such a good chance of either drawing the foul or finishing and getting an and one, as we just saw for Dalton.
And we said it in the first half. Dalton's been exactly what you want your bench to be. Impacts, the game gets quicker, things happen when she comes onto the floor. Just a great contributor. Farhad goes up, it's the front of the ring, and New Zealand are beginning to look very assured with what's going on in the game. Both ends of the floor, they're looking comfortable now. Walker, and she'll throw it away. Just need a little bit more composure.
Well, they're looking comfortable, and you have to, recognize the fact that they're probably their two leading lights in Penina Davidson and Talia Tupaia are both on the bench right now.
And that's, I think, a great move by coach to get Davidson out of the game. She's going to be putting major minutes in the next game. Anytime he can get rest into those legs. And then you have to say, Laurie, why hasn't Baptiste recognized she's not in the game, or why doesn't she get posted up and go to work down there?
Well, you talk about, go to work down below that. They're now 0 for 12 from the three-point line. Try something different.
Yep. Turnover. Baptiste had a chance to go. Will give it up. And they're still not really getting into any transition basketball. Akil has it. Crosses over and is blocked. I just love the way the role players on this New Zealand team just go about it. Beck for three is way short. She also leads by example both ends of the floor. Akil penetrates, kicked to an open three, and that's not going to go, so it's still over.
0 for 13 now.
Ledger Walker tries to turn the corner but can't. Dalton, she gets to the lane, floats one, doesn't get it to go, keeps it alive, but Farhad clears up the mess. Fares will run and doesn't get it. Kill. Finds Baptiste, now she's going to work but kicks it. The open look is good. And the first three of the night, well, the law of averages says one of them has to drop. As Walker penetrates, you heard the contact, and one. And it's easy to be positive. It's easy to make those decisions when you're up by that many, but if there's a difference between the two teams, it is that. So much more decisive, so much quicker. Crystal Ledger-Walker on the free throw line.
And as we know, confidence breeds confidence. Yeah. So one player's confidently doing something, it extends to your teammates. And as you say, there's a lot of bench players on right now, but they're still playing New Zealand style of basketball.
It was great those guys got time against China yesterday. They're in the tournament before this. Nice kick. Chance for back-to-back threes, and all of a sudden the lid's off the basket.
Ferris, 2 in a row.
And at the end of the quarter, as Ledger Walker couldn't get the two to drop, is there light at the end of the tunnel? It's a long way away, the end of the tunnel at the moment, but New Zealand lead this one 55-29 at the end of three.
Well, I think even if you don't you know, end up winning the game, you still want to take some positives. So, you know, finally those threes dropped, and they will want to go into this last quarter, Lebanon, trying to be positive and leave the court.
Interesting that you know, Coach Malloy gives the players a chance to have that conversation amongst themselves before he steps in. I think that's a nice move. You know, players owning what they're doing is always good to see.
Yeah, I agree. And often they're the ones on the court, so they can see, you know, feel what's happening and help each other maybe make a couple of minor adjustments.
But you can't say enough great things about the way, again, that Pernilla Davidson has gone about her work today. You know, she's just been great.
Well, she has, and especially in that zone, while she wasn't scoring, she was just facilitating and making great decisions on the inside out, passing it out to her open teammates.
So Lebanon out on the floor already at the start of this fourth quarter. They will have the possession. They trail by 26, and that is a mountain, but people have climbed mountains in the past, so it's never over until it's over.
Back screen, Pernilla Fashar. Come back on the thumb up, man or zone. All right, we're going to try and throw the ball in. Okay, then cut off there once you pass it in, man or zone, thumb up.
Davidson has a double-double, almost expected.
Yes.
5 from 6 from the floor as well, and it's, well, she's a joy to watch. I think the stats guy's been a little bit stingy on the assist front as well. She's passed the ball incredibly well. Well, that needs to go. It doesn't. And El Husseini must have been given the green light. Doesn't knock it down. Pierre has it. Strong roster on the floor for New Zealand. Davidson hands it off. Ledger-Walker goes baseline. McGoldrick, that's her spot. Knocks it down for fun. Just has an X on the floor. She'll stand there. Looks good from that range.
Well, Lebanon had the first rotation was good, but on the kick out, there was just no secondary rotation to the shooter.
And Dalton's just getting after it with El Husseini. And El Husseini wants to try and take her on. Goes to the basket, then kicks. Baptiste steps into the mid-range. Knocks down the two, and that's so much more her range.
It is. And she looked really comfortable in that shot. Just recognized it was a long closeout out of the stance. One dribble, pull up.
Ledger-Walker out top. McGoldrick will dive, doesn't have a look. Davidson's deep, but there's a lot of help. Ledger-Walker in the lane, stops, pops, and scores. And that's trademarked for her.
She's up to 12 points now, Ledger-Walker.
Husseini again, and Dalton. Everyone else is almost invisible to El Husseini and Dalton. It's the one-on-one. Here's Dalton, lines up the three, is short. Baptiste pulls it in. Lebanon still searching for some momentum. Bayard will hand it off. It's Baptiste. El Husseini, under 10 now. Well, the quick release on the three is way short.
You can just look, though, every time the ball was passed for Lebanon, they stopped. You could just see the defense shift, pass, stop. It's got to be whipped around the perimeter, and then you create an advantage, disadvantage.
Well, let's hope that Coach Gigi talks about that in this timeout. But with New Zealand first.
As you pass it inbounds here to Charlize. I want you to go down. Nina start low, set the screen for Nina. All right, we're going to pass the ball into Horns, right? So Charlize will bring it up and throw it to Nina after she comes off Ezra's screen. So start this side. Ez set the screen, come back up this side. We're going to throw it to Nina, create the position. Talia's over here, Taylor's there. When we throw it into Nina, and wait, not too early. Once the ball gets to here, Shah's in the top. We're going to cut hard, over the top. We're going to look at Talia on the high-low pass. And now, Ezra, you've got the flare pick for Charlize. So if we can't go into Talia, throw it to Charlize, and then come back, Ezra, and slip to the corner. And Penina's going to get the second pick. So we're in our Horns play. Man or zone, man or zone. Here we go.
Well, 60-31 coming out of that New Zealand timeout.
Well, I hope for Lebanon's sake, sorry that they don't let this game blow out. They lost to Korea by 22. If they can keep that margin, in that 22-25 mark, well, then you realize, you're playing against the world ranked 29th, and they're 44th right now, so you can gauge on where you need to be.
Ledger Walker stops, pops the mid-range, and she looked a little bit tight and nervous, and why wouldn't she be at the beginning of the game? But now she's, as she was against Korea. Oh, El Husseini, who seems to have a green light, knocks one down.
She certainly does, and she was happy that little bit of a fist pump there when that went down.
Davidson outside. Tapia had half a step. They turned that down. She will pick and roll with Tapia wide open for three. And they're in a really nice rhythm now. The Lebanese defense just stepping off it a little bit. Mentally, they look very frustrated. Jock Sean in the game, can't get it to go. Davidson with another positive stat. Ledger Walker. Goldrick, who's earned this spot in the rotation.
Oh,
as
my
Tapia
goodness.
just strokes another three.
Oh, so nice to see that shooting from Tupaya.
Wharton will clear out the mess as Mokdad can't get it to go. 6 minutes remain, 68-34. Dalton must be coming close to that time where Davidson will sit. It's appeared a lot of traffic, too much traffic, and too slow. And Mokdad comes down with the steal, has numbers. Chin off the glass. And Jokshan gets it. And they look at her running the floor. Ledger Walker rips, goes and passes. Tapia lines up another three, is way short this time. They just about retain it. Jokshan again outside. Thinks about it. Mokdad. 5 on the possession. She's going to make something happen. Nice pass. Jokshan's fouled. And, okay, maybe they're not keen on her, but she's rolled down the lane and they've looked for her and found her, and they haven't looked at that option pretty much for the whole game.
Well, when somebody rolls hard like that, they have to command attention. The defense can't just let them, roll in. They've got to. They draw some, and even if they hadn't made the pass, it might open some areas for their perimeter shooters.
Absolutely. Well, Davidson and Tapia sit. I think that'll be it for the game for them. And El Husseini having fun. Back-to-back threes for the number 10 for Lebanon.
It's nice to see their bench players come in and have a bit of an impact.
And that's the thing we've been talking about. It's so important for them to stay in the A division, for people like her to get used to this level. And one. And Charlize Ledger-Walker, who impressed game day 1. New Zealand took game day 2 a little bit differently and rotated everybody. And again, she's impressing again today. One of the, you've got to say, almost a breakout tournament for her.
16 make that 17 points for Charlize Ledger-Walker.
Obviously, she's been around this New Zealand team since she was very, very young, but she looks very assured, way beyond her 21 years. Here's Mokdad, who moves it on. El Husseini, who's got the hot hand, tries to wheel and deal a little bit and scrambles for it. Great effort. Because at some point New Zealand had the ball. It's a 24-second reset.
Well, that may not have been a shot, but that might make the highlight reel.
Tough finish, so strong. Took a lot of contact on that move.
She did, and for a player to be able to do that, that just shows the control that they have.
Shot again. Well, catching it and scoring from 2 feet, she's done that very well. Tamilo in the game for New Zealand. Dalton can't get it to go. Tamilo's on the glass, great job. And who but Dalton would be the player to cut and move?
What a great cut off the, cut off the ball. That player movement off the ball is so important. And the youngster, 18-year-old Tamilo, she's going to be a player of the future, somebody that great exposure for her at this age of her career to be playing and getting some minutes. And she saw some minutes yesterday in this Asia Cup and the level that, she needs to continue to aspire to, because she's 192 centimeters and New Zealand don't have a lot of height, historically. So this is really important for her.
So right. I mean, yesterday she's going up against the WNBA superstar.
Yeah.
Because can't get it to go. Tamilo fights for it. They're going to call that against New Zealand, I think. Called the holding foul on Tamilo. And sister for sister. Crystal replaces Charlize. The family, it must be for a family to have 2 of their daughters in a game is just incredibly great for them.
Is it? And hopefully the fact that it's in Australia and New Zealand's not that far away, that they're here watching today, watching the 2 daughters play.
Okay, Aida, you're here. Amar, Narine, okay? Amar, you're taking that from Aida. At the same time, Rana, you're splitting to ask for the ball. As soon as you split, you count in your head to 1, 2, and then Aida after that, and Narine is here asking for the ball. You were sprinting, you're setting that elevator. I want you to curl towards the 45. Okay. Close it on her man, okay? And set the screen. If her man was, there's no way that she can be like this, because she's worried about you, so she's gonna be like this, okay? So when you take the screen, come up like this, and then curl. Narine, set the screen. If she tries to cheat, lock and split inside. Take the shot. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Lebnan. 1, 2, 3. Lebnan. Sorry.
How great is it that we have the access to see, what the coaches, listen to what the coaches are saying, and then to be able to come out on court and see if these players can execute it.
Great piece on some of the FIBA social media feeds about Tamilo and where she was not that long ago, playing to an extent 2 levels down. All of a sudden she's here at Asia Basket Women and just learning every second she's on the floor. Great finish, and you've got to say that Yokshoni been tremendous since she's joined. Didn't play until the 4th quarter. Hunter puts it on. They're going to come via Tamilo. She's got to be a threat now. Nice back cut. Kenneth Walker, as it turned over, probably should have gone up. And all of a sudden, Lebanon put some pace in it. Unfortunately, El Husseini fell, but they've recovered it. Mokdad tries to get a little separation, doesn't, needs a pass. And that's a travel or out of bounds.
Out of bounds, yeah.
So Josephine Stockill, is that everybody that's joined the game now for New Zealand? Possibly. I don't know if Paris Mason has been in yet, but everybody else has. Dalton attacks some space, goes to the reverse layup.
That's so nice.
Manufactures that one. We're almost becoming Dalton's fan club over here.
We are.
Barkos gets it off to Mokdad. Helsini wants it every time. Takes the two-pointer and knocks it down. And the 22-year-old is not short of confidence right now.
She is not, and it's good to see. You know, they need somebody like her out right now. We know both teams have their bench players on, but these are big minutes for them.
Another turnover, and Coach Malloy is not going to be happy because you don't want it. They can become contagious. If you're coming off the bench, you need to just carry on the same level. Tamilo's going to sit, and I think as Paris Mason checks in, that probably means the whole roster's been in this game.
I think so, yes.
They all got time yesterday in the loss to China, and they really enjoy this one. There are various permutations that could happen depending on the result of Korea-China later, but this does mean New Zealand will definitely be playing in the next stage.
Well, they've done their job in this pool. You know, that was their goal, was to, I mean, obviously they would have liked to have beat China, but their goal was to finish at least second, finish in the top two to hopefully give themselves a better crossover. I mean, we still have the Korea-China game, so it's not 100%, but they've done what they can do.
Yeah. Stockhill tries to get in traffic, and the ball comes. Well, I would have thought came off the block, but the ball goes back to Lebanon. And this New Zealand defense will not want this Lebanon team to get to 50. Keep them under 50. Mokdad. Kass puts it on the floor, gets inside, doesn't get it to go, gets her own rebound, tries to manufacture it. But credit to Mason, stayed with the play, came up with the block, and Lebanon will handle it on the baseline. Great defense again by Dalton. They didn't call it, so therefore it has to go back to Lebanon. Barkos.
Ooh, out of bounds.
Well, New Zealand, once they get it over the halfway line, they can choose to shoot it or just walk this one off and enjoy the last 18 seconds of what has been a really solid performance. A little nervy to start with. Dalton's going to put it up, and why not? And they're still going to work. Legend Walker comes with an offensive rebound. Dalton, foul line jump shot, doesn't get it to go. And that will mean New Zealand will definitely play in the next stage of this Asia Cup. But what position will they finish? Well, that all options are still open. And we won't know that until China and Korea play later on. But for this one, there's the confirmation. New Zealand win this impressively, 76-45. Contributions from across the whole roster. But Davidson, again, is the rock that this team is built around.
Well, I think Davidson, there's no question about that, just the presence she brings. But what about the shooting of Talia Tupaia today? Just 6 from 9 from the three-point line. Looks so comfortable in what she was doing out there. 20 points she got and 4 assists. And, you know, that's their double hit, their outside perimeter game with her shooting, and then the inside presence of Panina, who is smart, physical, uses her body well, can finish inside. So that's a real good 1-2 punch for New Zealand.
Yeah, but I would definitely see they have real chances going forward, because if teams allow them to play like they can play, they've got ways to score. And if Tupaia and the rest of these guys can step up and shoot from the perimeter, then that's going to make Davidson a real factor. So Coach Malloy said to us when they were practicing, oh, you know, we're young, we're inexperienced. Well, hey, they're 3 games more experienced now, and they have improved enormously over those 3 games.
And they have to continue that. You know, they started off slowly in this game, looked a little bit tentative, you know, their ball movement. Once they got into their rhythm and their ball movement moved quickly and got into the right people's hands, that's when they look the best. They move really well. They know where each other. We saw glimpses of that in, you know, when they were playing Korea, how good their passing is, and then it picked up again today. And certainly, you know, Charlize Ledger-Walker, I thought, was influential in that second half especially. Although Lebanon did a good job with her coming off that on-ball screen, but she found ways and means to score.
And that's the really impressive thing, because you commented on the way that they were struggling initially with that pick and roll, which was really stable because the Lebanese had put a different type of look, but they made in-game adjustments, and that's national team-wise. You've got players who've got high IQs. You've still got to be able to make those changes, and they did. It was impressive, and Coach Malloy there in shot will be really pleased at where his team is. I don't think he could have expected. In fact, he's probably overachieved in terms of the level of performance. So they're now through to the next stage, but where will they play, who will they play, what position they'll finish in is still to be decided, because there's the current table. A Korea win would mean we get calculators out. A China win will mean that New Zealand finish second. So that happens at 5 o'clock local time here. There's another game in between that one and this. But for now, for game 1 on game day 3 from Laurie and myself, it's goodbye from Sydney.